you. Nice to be here.
What's up, man?
Good things.
You thought you were going to make it through the interview without a Cyborg reference, didn't you?
I think I can see it coming.
There was a prop bet on that. Yeah, over under 1.5 mentions.
What's this day like for you emotionally now that it's changed? You have an early signing period in December, and now this is kind of the final pieces going to play. So what is this day like for you now?
You just asked me a question about my emotionality. You asked the cyborg to share my emotions.
Compute.
Yes. Basically, how are you feeling right now? Is there any less stress because there are 2 days now?
It's
or 2
fun.
periods.
This is a lot of fun. This day being the culmination and the opportunity to talk about these kids that we've known for a long time now, 3-4 years in some cases. We've been recruiting these guys, and then you've seen sometimes there's a family pattern. We've known the family, the parents and older brothers or cousins, and to be able to celebrate that, and then also to start to pour a lot more of our energy into our current team it's a nice transition for us.
Speaking of transition, you're the linebackers coach now. You played linebacker at BYU, a natural fit for you, but how's the transition been for you to coaching the linebackers?
There hasn't been much of a transition yet. It's with my special teams role, I get to work with every player on the roster, and that's one of the things I love about coordinating the special teams. Every guy on the team is a special teams role of some type. I'll miss the relationships, the closer relationships I have with the safeties, and they'll be in good hands with Preston moving forward. And then I'm looking forward to getting to know the linebackers later. But we've all been on the road. It's 15 to 20 hotel nights in January.
Good grief.
And so we haven't seen our current guys as much as we'd like to. But that will change a lot here after today.
Now, for a cyborg like yourself, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're a machine, so whether you're in the hotel room or at home, it doesn't matter, right?
That's right. I've got a routine.
Feel nothing until we're back on a hotel bed.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's talk about some of the linebacker signees, starting with Isaac Matua. What do you know about Isaac, and what jumps off the page when you look at him?
So Isaac he has a high development potential ceiling, and we've really made a concerted effort to move a lot of our recruiting in that direction. And Isaac, as you watch the highlights, you're going to see quarterback, and you're going to see a runner, a guy that's got great leadership, great character, great athleticism, and really we have to make some decisions sometimes. How much do we care that this guy hasn't played linebacker yet? How much do we care that he hasn't been coached by his high school coaching staff as a linebacker? And in his case, we see the requisite measurables that we're confident we can make him into a dominant linebacker.
So he didn't play linebacker in high school?
No, he's not played any defense.
Well then, yes. So he was a quarterback, and you'll mold him.
He's a quarterback.
Kind of cool was an interesting one that way, in that he was a quarterback and a safety. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's an interesting one. Oliver Nasilai, what can you tell us about him?
Oliver, we first got to know him in camp. He came a long way out. His family in this area and some ties, but came
Arkansas.
to camp and all the way from Arkansas. Just a very, very physical player. He was a danger to the other kids in our camp.
His nickname is the Punisher, apparently, which is intense.
Yeah, I don't know where that nickname came from, and not being out there, we don't hear that nickname, but it's apt. That's very suitable for the way he plays the game.
Why did he feel like BYU was the place for him to be when, he's got the likes of SEC schools like Arkansas and Oklahoma State out of the Big 12 calling his name as well?
Sure. Well, he's LDS, and it's our biggest advantage in recruiting, and in some cases with the honor code and the academic standards here, those are the challenges we face. But in his case, those were attractions to him and gave us an opportunity to recruit a guy that we might not otherwise be able to recruit.
Alex Miskela, a guy that is signed today, a linebacker out of Los Alamitos, California.
That's right. Alex is big and physical, so he's on the opposite spectrum in terms of development potential than Matua, for example. Alex is about as strong as any collegiate linebacker in the country already. He's a weight room guy. Really has a lot of speed. He's as physically developed as anybody that we've got in our recruiting class. So we expect an immediate impact at the point where he can come in. We expect an impact on special teams. We expect him to compete for playing time right away.
So he's coming to school first, guy?
He is. Yeah,
Gotcha.
he's not LDS.
Gotcha.
All right, now another family name, Viliami Tausinga, first cousin of Kesni. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a middle linebacker that has been described by a few members of your staff as really, really aggressive.
He is, and also two sometimes seemingly opposite character qualities. He's very conscientious. He's a student body president at East High School. Is very involved in the community and a natural leader. Great personality, and he's really aggressive in really everything that he does in school and leadership and the way he plays football on the field. He's a lot of fun to be around, and we need more guys like him in our recruiting class.
The oldest of 7 children.
You got to be aggressive to get that food at dinner. That's where it starts with those 7 kids.
Yeah, the oldest of 7, a great example to all of his siblings came on the official visit, and we're hanging around, and he's a great example to his younger brothers and sisters.
Okay, so the biggest slap in the face to Johnny Linehan ever would be to go get an Australian to replace him. And that's what has happened. Tell us about Danny Jones from Melbourne.
Yeah, well, so Danny has been playing several years now of Aussie Rules professional football, and his dad doesn't want him to leave and pursue American football. He's still very much a legitimate prospect to ascend to the highest level of Aussie Rules football.
Wow,
tremendous athlete. I mean, he's all of 6'3" or plus, maybe 6'4". And he'll be one of the fastest players on our team. He'll be one of the strongest players on our team. Really has a lot of ability. But he, if you've ever been to Australia, and I had the chance in going over and taking a look and recruiting him, American culture is big there. They watch American TV shows. And so when I said, why are you giving up this dream, to come to America and play American football? And he said, hey, this is what we do. We watch Last Chance U. We watch American
BYU
football
Sports
shows.
Nation.
Yeah, this is he did. Yes, sorry. Spencer and Jerem, and he knew it all, And then, so that's why he's coming.
Now, the school he went to, Pro Kick, that is that's where I think Utah got their guys.
That's right.
The Ray Guy, right? Wisnowski and
that is the school, and I had to get indoctrinated into the way they do business over there, and so I went over and visited with them and watching a training session. I mean, they had 25 guys just kicking at like a random park until somebody kicks them out of there. But these are professional Aussie Rules football players that come from all over that continent, and they pay money to be trained and be set up. But it's not like you go over there and say, well, this is the guy I want. They tell you who's available for you, and you don't get to talk to the other kids, and you don't get to know anything about them. They make the selection. They do a lot of the recruiting, and they've had tremendous success. I think 4 or 5 of the last 6 Ray Guy award winners, and this is a special guy we're getting.
All right, Danny Jones is in for BYU football as a punter out of Melbourne, Australia. Ed, great to have you with us, man. And thank you for sharing your heartfelt emotions with us.
Always a pleasure to open up my heart to you, Spencer. Thanks for the question.
Johnny Linehan, BYU did the dirty and replaced the Kiwi with an Aussie. I feel hurt. Thanks, Ed.
Oh, good stuff.